Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I am the guy who picked Derrick Lewis to defeat Serghei Spivak. And now I'm doing so again here in this video, a few months later. I'm picking Derrick Lewis. I see no reason to think differently. And I'm absolutely betting on him, especially since the odds are juicier this time around. I was excited by plus 160. Now he's plus 180. I think both of these guys, each of these guys, I should say, presents a potentially nightmare matchup for the other. But I'm going with Derrick Lewis. I think if Derrick Lewis survives, if he's able to defend against the wrestling, he wins. If he's not able to defend against the wrestling, there's still a chance he wins. A good chance, in my opinion. So I just trust Derrick Lewis to win this fight. I think Spivak can't be in trouble once. I think if he is in trouble at all, he's getting finished. He could handle a little flurry, a nice little blitz, tie up, clinch up, circle out, whatever. But if he's hurt, it's over. That's my prediction here. I don't trust his chin, first of all. He's been knocked out twice by Tom Aspinall and Walt Harris, two dynamic guys, and they are more agile than Derrick Lewis. But they don't have his power. And Derrick Lewis is deceptively agile. He's deceptive in a lot of ways. Deceptively good on the ground, which is why I think he might survive against Spivak. And he's not good on the ground. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. He's weak on the ground. It's absolutely a weakness of his. But it's no coincidence that in his 10 losses, there's only one loss I can point out that happened on the ground. And it was the Daniel fucking Cormier, who is pretty damn good at holding people on the ground and getting them there in the first place. But Lewis, he's been, it's not like he's good on the ground, deceptively or not. He's not going to reclaim his guard. He's actually going to let you advance on him. But that type of shit works for him, letting you advance, get to the full mount, and then he explodes. He bides his time, and he does so on the feet as well. He bides his time. And when he finds the right angle, the right moment, and it's perfect for him. He strikes, and he's a killer. He's got the hardest punch in the fucking world now that Rumble's dead. So I think Derrick Lewis, he just needs one opportunity, and he's going to get Spivak out of there. And a lot of it, I do think he could overwhelm him, but I'm thinking it's the chin that's going to fail. Lewis's power meets Spivak's chin, and Lewis wins. Now, I do think Spivak could wrangle Derrick Lewis, and might. If he's able to wrangle him, he's going to get it done early. He's going to get him down early. But even then, Derrick Lewis is, he's a survivor. I haven't seen him put away. Spivak does have an incredible top game, but he's got to get Derrick Lewis flat on his back. And even then, the fight's not over, But Derrick Lewis is a really tall order when it comes to wrangling him. But even then, the fight's not even halfway over. You still got to control him, and everything is more difficult because he's such a big, strong guy. You could isolate one of his arms and go for the arm bar, and it's still, you got to, take down one of his arms at the size of my fucking torso. Everything's difficult with Derrick Lewis. And cardio-wise, it's another area where he's kind of deceptively good cardio-wise. He's had plenty of late finishes. Third round comeback over Marcin Tabora, who is super Spivak, and he actually out-Spivak Spivak, beat him in the one decision loss, the one loss for Spivak that isn't a knockout. But he was dominating Derrick Lewis, and Derrick Lewis found that one opportunity and shut his lights out. Same thing happened with Volkov, even though Volkov almost killed him with a body shot. Lewis, I will say, I'm more worried about his body than I am his chin or his ground game. But not in this fight, against like a Gon type or someone who could, make a use of that. But Derrick Lewis, he's, again, he's a survivor. He's been mounted plenty of times. Victor Pesta, whoever the fuck, Ruan Potts, half the guys he fought in his first 5 or 6 UFC fights had him mounted, more than half. And he would survive every time. The only guy to get him out was Daniel Cormier. And Lewis's cardio, as I was talking about, he's shown it in decision fights as well. Taking out Blagoy Ivanov, Alir Latifi, and Roy Nelson. Go rewatch those fights. He won all 3 of them with a strong third-round effort. And in the Roy fight, he was mounted and being dominated. positionally, but he didn't stop swinging and banging. And even though it's a shit fight, the fight against Shamil Abdurakhimov was one of his best, victories, in that he got the victory in the 4th round from the full mount. So it's a shit fight, but still, on paper, it's a great way for Derrick Lewis to win. And look, I know I'm just blowing Derrick Lewis because he's my pick, and I'm trying to talk you up on it. I see what everybody else sees. Spivak is a fucking nightmare for a lot of heavyweights. He's a big, strong, quick wrestler, and I'm sure a lot of people see this fight going down like the Greg Hardy fight or the Tai Tuivasa fight. And Spivak's a talented guy in a lot of, in a way that a lot of fighters aren't, but certainly at heavyweight. But I'm going with Derrick Lewis here. I think Derrick Lewis, there's a good chance he stuffs Spivak's takedowns early. And even if he doesn't, I do think Derrick Lewis just needs that one opportunity where Spivak needs a few. He's going to need to take Derrick Lewis down, grind him out, wear him down, mat returns, other takedowns, whatever. And in between all that shit, Lewis just needs one opportunity. So I'm going with Derrick Lewis. I'm going with Derrick Lewis via knockout, the money line plus 180. Played it straight. Also played parlays, and I'm going to fucking be praying he wins at the end if I'm lucky enough to be there. And I also played Derrick Lewis winning by rounds 1 and 2 knockout. Well, round 1 plus 550, round 2 900, plus 900. I think, again, even though Derrick Lewis has knockouts deeper into the fight, way deeper into the fight, and, these longer victories, I think this is a case of power meeting chin. And in that case, typically it's going to be settled earlier. So I'm going Derrick Lewis rounds 1 or 2. Spivak, by the way, if you're so inclined to pick him, I think he wins probably round 2 or 3. And I think it would be with him steadily dominating. And I also think if Spivak was to get the victory over Derrick Lewis, it'd be more likely to be a TKO on the ground as opposed to a submission. I don't know if you can arm triangle Derrick Lewis, but still, I'm not picking Spivak. I'm picking Derrick Lewis. That's it. Like, share, subscribe, all that horse shit, and check out my other videos.